Hello, good evening.
Good
I'm
evening,
so excited.
brother.
Wherever you are in every part of the world, we say good evening. So today is an exciting day. We have a very wonderful person who will be leading us in today, day two, potential latency, the injurious and fatal effects of unreleased potential. So he'll be leading us in today's session. A lot of people have a lot of potential that is inside of them that have remained latent. So, and this has a lot of injurious and fatal effects on themselves, on the generation, environment, and order. So today we are so fortunate to have a very special person that will be speaking to us, Savio Anthony Okawoba. So we welcome you, sir, or welcome you to the stage. So you're highly welcome. He's a business strategist, a professional quantity surveyor with a very wonderful experience in issues that have to do with potential. So we welcome you so much, sir, on this today, the Manifesting Your God-Given Potential webinar. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, brother Fred, and thank you to everyone who is on with us live this evening on the second day of our program. I want to thank you so much, brother Fred. It has been awesome since Sunday. I've been following up through the Facebook, and yesterday network couldn't allow us much with the brother that presented yesterday, but it was very awesome, and I want to thank everyone. For wherever you are joining us this evening, here in Nigeria, it is evening already. And I want to say good evening to you all, those of you that are on the same time with us. And maybe good morning to some of you who are waking up or who are already in their morning. And then good afternoon to those who are a little backward of our own time. So I want to appreciate each and every one of you, and I want to thank you for joining us this evening for this great topic again today, which we are going to share today again about potentials. It has been potentials, potentials, potentials all this while. And at the time, you will begin to ask yourself, what is it all about? A lot of descriptions have been made about it. A lot of people have really talked over this issue. And like you rightly see on live all these days, on our brother Fred, who is our great leader in this and the lead facilitator. I want to thank him, and he's the lead facilitator of Sama NGO, is an NGO, if I'm not mistaken. So he is our lead facilitator, and I think he is also the president of Sama group. So I want to thank him immensely for the opportunity he has given me to speak on this topic today. Before I go further, I want to introduce the topic of the day, which says potential latency. And we're on our day two of the program. Potential latency, the injurious and fatal effects of unreleased potentials. And speaking to you this evening is my humble self, Brother Okaoba Anthony. I'm a quantity surveyor by profession. I'm attached to the National Root Crop Research Institute, which is situated at Umudike, Abia State. So I want to welcome everyone this evening. Thank you so much. And so without wasting our time, like I said earlier, I have over time taken time to see this passion in this our brother Fred, over this potential that it is in us. It has been very awesome with him in these programs, and God has been using him tremendously to empower a lot of people, especially people like us too, whom God is using to bring out the best in us. to bring out the hidden potentials also that we have. Maybe today I'm seeing myself speaking live on air to people all over the world. Maybe I may not have known that one day I have this in me, but to the glory of God, today, our brother, through this avenue and through his push and through this zeal that is always in him, that is burning. If you watch him, it is really burning in him, and he is using it to bring out the best in us. So I am saying to each and every one of us to continue to key on to this program, and then to continue to uh, take advantage of this wonderful book, Manifesting Your God's Given Potentials, which he himself has written. Like he rightly said over his interview, when I was watching his interview, that was 3 or 4 days ago, if I'm not mistaken, he said it took him about 15 years to have written that book. And you know what it means for someone to continue to carry on with a particular project for 15 good years. That is this pushing him, and he never allowed anything to kill it in him. Today, it is realized, and that is all we are talking about. There is that potential in him that he is using to push forth, to bring things alive. So I will also take little time to define this word potential, and what do we mean when we say or talk about potential. And I'm saying that basically these are just mere skills. Let's leave too much grammars in these things. These are the hidden talents that are in you, just mere skills, the possibilities that are in you, the abilities that you have in yourself as a person. It is the possibility of becoming something, that power that you have in you, that is hidden in you. That is what is potential. So that we don't begin to take so much grammar about it. I want to tell you, it's the seed that you carry in yourself, a seed that you need to develop, a seed that is hidden in you, a characteristics in you that help you to excel to greatness. One thing about potential is that it is something positive that will skyrocket you to something else in life. That is what we mean by this potential that we have been defining since 4 days ago. And that's my little way of describing it. And I want to also tackle the word latency that is attached to our topic today. They say potential latency. And so what is that? Latency simply means, what does it mean? It simply means dormancy, something undeveloped, something that has remained in the shell, something that has not come out of the light to bring light, something that you need to develop into something positive. So it is a dormant state of anything. And so when we talk of potential latency, we are talking about the potentials that we carry, that we have, the potentials that are in us, that are dormant, that we have not been able to develop, that we have not been able to discover, that we've not been able to make use of into something great. So, like when you look over all over the world, a lot of people have taken time. Like our brother is trying to push out the best in us now. Sometimes we as I as a person or you as a person may not really know what you carry as a person. This great work we are going through all this week are things that are trying to help us discover what we have. There are a lot of things that we carry in us, the type of seed that we carry in us that we do not know. about. That when nurtured, watered, nurtured, let me use that word, it will grow into something that we will never expect. And the harvest is something unimaginable that we cannot understand. So what is that seed that we carry in us? That is what the essence of these programs of this week, and which has been going on since 4 days ago now, is trying to help us to discover our hidden potentials, our hidden skills, our hidden qualities that will take us to greatness, to something higher. My dear brothers and sisters with us live here, this all we have to define about the potential latency. It is that dormant characteristics, the skills that you have. And with this and them that you have not discovered, which I know step by step as we are following him over maybe by the end of this program, for those of us who have not been able to discover what we carry in ourselves, will not be our eyes will be opened. By the time we go through the chapters of this book, our eyes will be opened and we'll be able to see. So I want to let us know that every one of us has one potential or more than one in us. It's just our ability to stay still to discover it. At times, nature pushes us into our God-given potential. Sometimes it takes you to discover it and then follow your course. I want to give you an example. Now, when I was growing up, or when I was in school, then those days, or when I was looking for admission, I remember those days when my people were forcing me to do a course in medicine, anything that is health-related course. And I looked at myself. I checked in me. I know that there is nothing in me that will make me perform or do well in that field. And to the glory of God, not by my own strength, maybe by the grace of God, I refused it. I told them I cannot do well. I remember I told them this. I told them I cannot perform well in that field, that I will be a failure. That is one of the problems most of us are facing today. Actually, what we carry in ourselves. We have not been able to discover the field where we can do best. That is one of our problems today. And I want to tell you that I am not regretting being where I am today. Mainly, it might have just meant me being a medical doctor, answering a doctor, answering maybe a nurse, answering a pathologist, or any big name that may be attached to the health sector. But where will I have been? I would have been a nuisance to that field. I saw myself when I was growing up doing little things technologically. And I began to find my course in that area because I believe I can create. I believe I can sit down, I can do something technologically. And today, where I have found myself, I am telling you, I have satisfaction. That is what it takes to discover your potentials. And when you discover your potentials, you are going to have, wherever you're working, you will find job satisfaction. Is it in the family? you will be satisfied in everything that you are doing. You'll not act like a layman in any field where you know that you have discovered your talent or your potential, as the case may be, which is our core word today. So some of these things that are in us has ever remained, even when naturally we have also known that this is where our talent is taking us to. This is where our potentials lie. We have decided not to look deep into it to see how we can develop it into what will skyrocket us to greatness. And that is the latency and the dormancy that we have created by ourselves. By the time we end this program, I want to tell each and every one of us, if you have not discovered your talent, if you have not discovered your skills, if you have not discovered the possibilities that are in you, if you have not discovered the energy that you have in you that you are carrying, take out your time as we go through these programs. Bend down to discover them. And for those of them that you have also discovered but are still dormant in you, there have not been this push in you to make sure that you have developed it into something that will be beneficial to you and to the society at large. Because some of the potentials that are in you are not really for you alone. They are for the good of the society. That is why God has put it in you. And I can liken it to what the Word of God says in the book of Matthew chapter 25 about the talents, the parable of the talents that were given to us. Where someone has been given a talent of 5, where someone has been given 2, where someone has been given 1, where one has been given even more than 5. And you see some people going to hide their own. And at the time of reckoning, they will come back, giving it back to you raw, the way you gave it back to them. Undeveloped, untapped. They will return it back to you. And for those of them that understand this right, will always go to multiply that which is given to them. That is that which you carry in yourself. The seed that you have in you, you go back and multiply it. And it becomes fruitful. And at the time of harvest, you see multiple of fruits, multiple of talents from only one that have been given to you. So I want to let us know this evening that a lot of factors have hindered us from progressing or from excelling in the potentials that are in us, even the ones that we have discovered that are in us. We can count it in laxity. We can count it in lack of vision. We can count it in so many other factors that have not permitted or allowed us to move on to develop our God-given potentials. Laxity can make you to continue to procrastinate that which you are supposed to do. I give example with our brother, Fred, who over 15 years has always had this urge in him. I remember when it was pumping in him during his school days then. He believed that he can do it, and he started. The problem with us today is that sometimes we find it difficult to make a start. But if we're able to make that little start, no matter how small, it germinates into something big. Imagine for a gap of 15 years. Today, I remember how the book was then in his school days. But it has developed into something wonderful today that is sold all over the world. I think he likened it during his interview, like the year when I think Facebook was also being developed. So you can imagine if he had kept this book today out of laxity and procrastination, what would have become of it? It would have become that same old book that he wrote those days that has nothing much to impart, even though they had. But today, I want to tell you that this great book that he has written today have had a lot of reformations or refurbishments, if I'm using the terms in our construction industry. And today, it is something that can change lives. It is something that you can pick up today all over the world. The book is selling. It is in Amazon. It is all over. It is because he has this urge, this great push in him to move on. To move on. He never relented on it. He never said, no, I can't do this. He never said, let me end it here. I've done this. He didn't say, out of shame, let people not mock me. Let them not laugh at me. He overlooked all this and then he moved on. And today he has come out with something, a world-class book sold all over the world. That's one of the problems we are having today. There are a lot of things that we have in us, but because of shame, because of this little push that are in us, we wouldn't want to move further. We have seen those talents in us. We have seen those ideas in us. And we have also seen those little energies in us that we can use to make a little push. But because we're afraid that we are going to fail, that is why sometimes we abandon some of these things on the way. And today, what becomes of it? Untapped blessings, untapped talents, untapped possibilities, untapped skills left behind. And these are skills, these are talents, these are abilities that can change the face of the world. So it behoves us to be steadfast in that which we have seen that God has put in us. It is not just enough discovering it. When you discover it, at the end of the day, you go back in and do nothing about it. All you do is complain about people, about this, about that, about this limitation or the other that has made you not to develop into what you are supposed to be. Money is everything, but money is not also everything. All you need to do is to make a little start. All you need to do is to convince people that I can do this. That potential that you have discovered in you, that which you carry, that seed that is in you, that ability that is in you, you only need to convince people around that I am dedicated to this. I am poised to developing this thing into greatness. One day I came back to the house. I saw on my children's whiteboard a model my son was trying to develop of a spy bed, where he developed it, drew the bed, put some cameras on it, and labeled a lot of things. I came in and I saw it. I went back to my room. I was just thinking, I say, wow, this boy needs a little push. These are things when People that understand it well, when they see it in you, they will be able to support you no matter to any length you want it. The problem with us is that we are believing that our problem is from people. Our problem is that we don't have the money. We don't have the resources. These potentials are things we have that can make us the most wealthiest man in the world. But we have decided to destroy them by making them latent, dormant, to remain in us. Without, and they take us nowhere. All we need to do is just to be going round the circle. But these are things God has put in you to make you a great person. These are things God has put in you to change the life of people around you. These are things God has put in you to just change the face of the world. And on your own, you have decided to make it latent, to keep it undeveloped. I'm speaking to us this night that we may understand more to this passion that is burning in our brother. A lot of things has destroyed that potentials that we carry. Some other things, like, I'll call it maybe our cultural values. Most of our cultural values are so bad that they have not been able to allow some of us, especially our women, food, to develop certain potentials that they carry. These are things where you move out and they tell you, our culture do not tolerate this, it does not permit this, it does not permit that. And all these things that our culture are not permitting are things that are man-made. They are not of God. They are not God-given potentials that are in us. They are not God-given. These are things that we have developed to destroy, the potentials that are in us. And we cannot go far with it. We are seeing ourselves ending up like that. You see some brilliance in you that we have taken you to excellence in the field of academics, in the field of research, and our cultural values, we just tie it up and destroy it in you. There is this also aspect also I always want to point out also. These are also things that have made the potentials in us latent. And what is that? Without missing words and without having in mind to insult anyone, there is this also religious aspect of it, where I will call distorted prophecies. Most prophecies that have been given us have gone ahead to destroy the seed, the abilities, the skills, the possibilities that are in us today. Most prophecies that we hear today of our life have tied up so many people's potentials and have set them backwards. A situation where you are not called in a particular area of life or field, and someone comes and tells you you are called in this area, without you going back to check yourself very well if you can really do well in it. And what you begin to see yourself is to begin to walk in direction of that prophecy. It may be real prophecy sometimes. There's no doubt about that. But sometimes, most of the times, the area I'm talking about are those ones that are distorted, that will just change your vision from what God has put in you and redirect your vision into that which you are not called for. And what does it make you? It makes you what? A very big, round peg in a square hole. You begin to see yourself function where you are not called to function. And what is the effect? You begin to see yourself not being real. You begin to see yourself as a photocopy. And you know that when it is a photocopy, it can never be original. Just like the book our brother has written. Tomorrow you begin to see people copy some areas, pick up some lines in his work. It can never be like Bro Fred's work. It will always not be original. That is where what is killing us today in the world. You begin to see yourself not doing your best in that area where you have now chosen, or where that distorted prophecy has taken you to. By the time you discover it in future, it's already late. And you might find yourself not being able to start all over again. Maybe out of shame, maybe out of tiredness, out of no resources again. You might have even missed your destiny helper, whom God has positioned at that particular time of your age or the time you deviated from what you should have been doing. Because he who the Lord gives, he empowers. So in the process of empowering you, he also puts some destiny helpers along the way. They can be like counselors to you. They can be like people, directors to you. They can be like people who can lead you into doing that thing which you carry in yourself. By the time you deviate and come back, you see them no more. And even if you have started again from the scratch, you may not get the best of it again. That is why it is good to make this discovery on time. And then work towards developing your potentials. It is not just enough discovering them, but working towards developing them into that which is profitable. Copyright can never be like original. And that is what most of us are facing today. And I didn't say it is bad to have an idol. I didn't say it is bad to have somebody you are looking up to. For me, maybe I set it up that I want to be like Bill Gates, and I begin to see myself walk in that direction. I see myself begin to act like Bill Gates. I begin to see myself do like him. I begin to see myself working tremendously to earn living or to be the most wealthiest man, not even in the whole world, but even in my environment where I find myself. Copying can affect your originality and affect your destiny, as you can see on the screen. We need to be original in that, which it can just be a very small thing. It mustn't be a very big thing. The essence of creation is that you, I, have something very distinctive to offer to the society. And when it is not there, something has been lost perpetually. And there may not be another person that can do it the way God has destined it to be in me or in you. That is the problem of not discovering our potentials on time and then working towards developing it into positivity. Most times we see ourselves, even in the potentials we see in ourselves that we have even discovered, we turn it into negativity. We use it for something that is not worthwhile. And what does it do too? All we see is negative. The resultant effect is negative. And that which you have been positioned to do, you see yourself deviated or having deviated from it entirely. And it becomes a minus to the society, a minus to our world. If we could work, if we could develop that seed that we carry in us, the world will be a very fantastic place. In our country, Nigeria, we have people who can develop aircraft. We have people who can develop electric fans, bulb, vehicles, dynamos, generating sets, solar systems, and a lot of us, a lot of things. Even when I was in school, I saw most of our engineering students then developing a lot of things in us. Maybe because we want to use it to pass our exam. We will not further into doing further researches and discoveries about that thing. I try to respect our brother, Fred, who did not allow this vision to die in him. You can imagine for 15 years, he sings it. As he's driving, he's writing this same book. As he's eating, he's thinking about this book. As he's in his working place, he's thinking about this book. That is that push that we need to have, that drive that we need to have to push up our potentials to greatness and to avoid the latency in it, the dumb, just making it inactive, to just be there. I can write a book today. Yes, I was writing then, I was composing poems even. But today, where are you? Nothing. Cannot do much. There is nothing to show for it. And you cannot sit up again. You complain about everything. Everything is a problem around you. Even when you have the strength, the power that is in you, the ability that is in you, the skill that is in you, all you need to do is to start from little, a little beginning. You start and grow into something big. Your potential helpers, let me not call destiny helpers again. Your potential helpers cannot help you when they have not seen you start it even little. It can be like just a tip of a needle today. And when someone sees it and say, oh, this is wonderful, this is awesome. If I support this man will grow into something wonderful. You don't have any business idea. You don't have any business acumen. If I even call you today and say, my brother, come, let me ask you something. What is it that is in you that you know you can do? You say you don't know. Let me go and think about it. I'll get back to you. By the time you go and come back, he has shifted his help to another person that is very, very serious. What is the problem? We have not been able to sit down to discover what we have. As I'm saying all these things, I know you are understanding the injurious part of it, the fatal effect of your unreleased potentials, because it brings setback even in the society. It's an economic waste. You are carrying an undeveloped seed. It's an economic waste. It's an economic setback. It could have been you that would have caused this country to have developed very well technologically. Maybe out of your innovation or an invention in this country. You see yourself developing it, and maybe with the support of well-meaning people around you or the government. You see it bringing a stable and good economy to your society, to your environment, or to the country at large. And Nigeria will be known for one thing. And you yourself developing onto something great, you will see that God will position you at a level where you now begin to train others that are behind you, or others who are upcoming. Maybe upcoming artists, upcoming engineers, upcoming anything at all. You see yourself now being there as a trainer to guide these people into greatness. And over time, you see that you now have various people who are competing in the same field of life. We have decided to throw away what we carry, then go in, lie down every day. We believe that we can always beg and people will always give us food, thereby leaving our potentials unreleased and undeveloped. Today, I see a lot of graduates, even the ones around me, even the ones I attended the same school with, begging. Begging. They beg you today, they beg you tomorrow, they beg you next tomorrow. That is not the life. That whatever you are seeing today is not everlasting. It even spurs you into going in to think out what you can develop, what you can do with your life, what you can do with the potentials that are in you. It might be that you have deviated from your God-given potentials in the course of your education. And when you discover your skill, when you discover what you carry, with the backing of your education, maybe you read engineering and you are seeing yourself maybe doing well in buying and selling. What you need to do is to go and register somewhere and enter into craftsmanship, or register as an apprentice and learn a trade. And that can help you wonderfully well. One day, a friend of mine called me. He said, Tony, I want to, this job that I'm doing, I'm not really having job satisfaction. I want to go and learn a trade. And I remember encouraging him so well. And I encouraged him, I told him to make a start. And he started. And when he started gradually. He didn't look at himself as a graduate. He didn't look at himself where he would say he saw himself then. He overlooked all this, went into apprenticeship, started serving like an apprentice. And today, he's a good furniture maker. That skill in him, he discovered it on time. In fact, when we were in school, I told him that what he's reading in school is not his talent. It's not where his potential lies. He would have done more and better in technological issues or maybe skills. Normal, maybe, what do I put it? Maybe little skills. Today, he is doing well in the furniture world. I want to tell you today that no matter whatever it is, it does not matter. You can be the best mechanic on earth. The potential that is in you may be that will make you the best mechanic, and your name will be seen in the Guinness Book of Record. In my little word, I will say that one of our problems today is that we like to size. Sizing, that's the normal word people are using about it. We want to be what we are not. We want to make sure that we are answering big, big names. We want to come out today and everybody will hail us. Ah, doc, ah, this, ah, engineer, ah, that. That is not it. Let us discover our potentials and be the best that we can be. Let us be the best mechanic. Let us be the best seamstress, the best tailor, the best designer. Let's be the best we can be. We are just copying unnecessarily, and it is not helping us. Neither is it helping our economy. We need to open our eyes today. To develop him. For these 15 years, I want to tell you also that you can also discover yours even this week and start developing it into greatness. It's all about you. Most times you may feel that you have tried, and nothing is coming out of it. It's not as if you are not putting energy or strength. The energy that you are putting in today is what breaks up your blessing or the favors of tomorrow. I want to give you an illustration of a stone cutter who will always continue to hit a stone. Why? He will continue to hit it. He may hit it for 100 times, and you will not see any break. I want to tell you that after the 100th one, maybe the 101, the 101 time, he will hit the rock. He may begin to see cracks on the rock. 102, it begins to break into pieces. I want to tell you the 101 time where that rock started breaking. What he should celebrate is from the 0 to the 100th time, because these are the times, the forces, the power that he added to the stone that caused the crack at the 101. What am I saying? What I'm driving at is that whatever no matter how much you think you have put in, the energy you have put in today, as long as you know that is your potential that you have discovered, I want you to be persistent. There is need for you to be persistent, to continue that push, to continue that push, to continue pushing until you break even. We can see it even in businesses where you just start in a little beginning. It's your consistency, the zeal that you carry in you, your determination to continue to the end. That is what makes you great. You don't just start today and you see yourself, maybe make it overnight. Look at Bro Fred today. Today, his book is sold all over the world. I don't jealous him. I cannot write a book. But there is something in me that I know I can do that he cannot do. There is great need for that push in us. There is great need for us to be consistent. There is great need for us to be persistent in that thing we know how to do best. We continue to do it. One day it will yield a very good fruit for us. So my brother, my sisters all over the world watching me live, I just want to say, can you imagine what it will mean? Like he was being interviewed 4 days ago. He was almost treating my topic. He said he imagined himself for these 15 years, if something had happened to him, but God forbid it. And I put my words and say, God forbid it. That what would it have looked like? He would have gone with this great talent in him. For me, he's helping me already to discover certain potentials also that are in me that I have not discovered. Through just this little book of his that we are seeing today. It's not just an ordinary book. It is something that God has put in him to change mankind, to change the face of the world. It has poured me into action, into sitting down to pursue more things ahead that will be more positive and profitable. We do not need to waste our potentials. We do not need to waste what we carry in us. We do not need to waste the strength that is in us. We need to sit up today so that our potentials can be turned into activeness. Let them be active. Let's tune them into activeness. Let them not remain latent again. They are just in us. We are just carrying it about. Just like a moving corpse. And it's something that, when developed, can change our life entirely. There is need for us to develop ourselves right from this very moment. I'm encouraging everyone. Pick up a book today of his, Manifesting Your God-Given Potential. There's a potential in you. And it is very unique. It is like a trademark on you. And it is only you that has that trademark. And if it is not it, it can never be another. It is a very special one attached to you. It can be in the form of singing, that whenever you come out to sing today, everywhere becomes calm. It can be the way you talk, your ability. It can be your rhetoric gift. It can be your dancing step, which I may not have, that will give you favor. It can be your driving ability. that God has put in you. Though you are a graduate, you can be the best driver. What kills us today, like I said, arrogance, pride. It has destroyed. That is the greatest enemy of our potentials today. We really want to be where we are not. Imagine the story of DHL, an errand boy who started by delivering messages, letters, gifts, door to door of people. That was how he started. And he did not end it there. You know what happened? He developed it into a big company. It's a multinational company. Everybody is using it. It was he saw in him a seed that he needed to grow, he needed to nurture, he needed to fertilize, he needed to water to develop into something wonderful today. And he's known all over the world. I want can make you go back and not only ending it in being a taxi driver, but making you go back to develop a transport company that will be of what class? From possibly a car transport company, you begin to you float airlines. These are things that are in us that are on tap. Develop ourselves. We just want to copy. We just want to be like another person. At the end of the day, we see ourselves carrying back our potentials back to the grave without using it for the good of humanity. And I also want to tell you that at the last day, God will you answer questions. You answer about your talent. What did you use it for? Did you go back to hide your talent? And on the day of reckoning, you brought it back and said to your master, and said to your master, I went and hid it. Here is your talent. Take it back. Or that day you are going to say, you gave me 5. I have multiplied it into 10. Let us not be an economic waste to our society, because there is something wonderful in you that you carry that will change this world, that will change your room, that will change your family, that will change your street, that will change your kindred, that will change your community, that will change your society. Most times we are just poised to blames, apportioning blames to people, apportioning blames to government, apportioning blames to whatever thing that comes up in our brain. Then most times we are the problem. And that is why in Africa today, you see us backward. That is the bad effect of our unreleased potentials. We see ourselves backward, very, very backward. We see ourselves not having anything. We resort to begging. When in you are carrying a very wonderful seed, you are carrying a very wonderful potential that you need to set up today in a very small way, and you will see potential helpers helping you and bringing you up to excellence. We have refused to do that which we are supposed to do. That is where our problem lies today. And at the end of the day, what is given to us are God's given potentials. Die unwatered, die unfertilized in us, die unnurtured in us. And you look around the society today, we have a lot of fake pastors, fake drugs, fake doctors, fake engineers, fake gospel artists, fake drama artists, fake everything all over. And that is what we are reaping today. These are some of the injurious and some of the fatal effects of us not releasing the potentials that are in us. Because if I'm a good public speaker today, or God has put in me this oratory gift in me, I can use it to change the world. When I speak, people will gather around. They want to listen to me. Those healings you are supposed to do with some of these talents, you see yourself not doing it. People will die because you are not in that medical field that God called you. Certain human beings you would have saved while in the hospital, maybe as a medical doctor. You see, because you are not there. You missed it out from day one. You see, you are not there to save. You might be the best engineer, but because we have refused to release our potentials, that is why we will always see fake engineers that are building skyscrapers, and at the time of rain or any small wind, you see building collapse all over, and you see it killing our people. You are not endowed with any particular gift. You are forcing yourself into it. What will you be? You'll be a nuisance. You don't have any potential in you to teach in the class, and you're forcing yourself to be a teacher. What will you, at the end of the day, what are you giving? What are you going to be? And give to the people? What is it going to look like? You know what I mean? Because you are not called to be there. You miss the track somewhere. You are forcing yourself into something that you are not called. We produce nuisance at the end of the day. We produce fake at the end of the day. Because that is not where we were called. So the only thing we can do today is let's be original. Let's come back to the drawing table. Let's develop a new model. Check what you carry in you. There are a lot of potential helpers around you. Walk up to one person or the other. Like our leader, Bro Fred. I know he doesn't stop researching or having a mentor around him who will always direct him in one thing or the other. And I want to tell you, that is why we are seeing this book today. There were people that spurred him into developing this more. Maybe it would have ended there at that particular time, how he did it. It might have ended there. But today has added a lot of enriching and valuable items in the book that can change life automatically today when you go through the book. And that is what I'm saying, that there is need for us to be consistent in that which we are doing. Consistency is very, very important. You have a vision today, work towards that vision. Work towards that dream. What is that dream? Work towards it. That your vision, work towards it. Be consistent. Even when you feel it's not yielding anything, continue. One day it will yield something profitable. Let us remove a lot of wild mentalities that are growing in us. They are not helping us. Most of them mentalities are just setting us backward. There are a lot of traditional, religious, social, ethnic, what have you, values that we have put into our life that are setting us backward. And that is why we are where we are today. I want you to go back, check yourself. Are you the best driver? Go in, construct another model. Somebody developed Uber. Somebody developed Bolt, that today you can dial a ride, and with your location, the ride will get to you immediately, and you go to where you are. Even while you are in that taxi or Uber, your destination or your movement can also be located. It is people that developed all these things. Somebody went in. There's this potential in that person. There's a skill, ability that he saw in himself. And he feel like, can I do this? I'm having this idea in me. Maybe he will move ahead and consult one or two persons. And with their help, he has come up with a good model, a good system that is working today. You find yourself in Abuja, wherever you are in Abuja, you just dial. Maybe you are connected to both. You just open it, your app, then book for a taxi, and it will come. Even as it's coming to pick you, you'll be watching your map and you see the vehicle coming to you. These are innovations people have done over time. These are things they have seen in them and they have developed. Some of these, they developed these skills, this strength in them, and it has changed the face of the society today. It is not only to their own benefit. They are making gain in it. They have employed a lot of drivers, thereby creating employment in the society because they were able to release little potential that is in them. You see fleet of vehicles, people registering under them. I'm using it as an illustration. Because someone has sat down today to develop that model that is working. You see a lot of unemployed youths doing dial a ride business. Instead of being at home, instead of using their vehicle to drive around town without having anything to feed themselves with, they are now using their vehicles for Uber. That is, they have been employed. That is having released your potential in you. So you have a potential today, you are keeping it to yourself. You are ashamed that, let people not laugh at me. Let people laugh at you. Come up with it. Come up with your model. Come up with your ideas. Come up with your vision. Come up with your dream. You see people who will mentor you into greatness, and you develop it for the good of the society. That is where we are today. And I know that in between, a lot of people have been so much afraid of opening up to what they have in them. Because you go in, you develop ideas, you develop things, just like this book now that our brother wrote. And you see somebody's from somewhere copywriting this work. So because of that fear in a lot of people, they have decided to keep to themselves what they carry, what they have. But I want to tell you today, let it out. Let it out. It's a potential that God has given to you to change the world. Let it out, even if anyone copies it. You can do better. You can even move higher from where you were. You are sitting here today. Someone comes and says he's going to sit on top of you. All you need to do is to leave this level, move to a higher plane than where the person is. There was a post I saw of a raven and an eagle. A raven attacking an eagle. And I read through, they say the eagle will not even fight back. All it does is what? It will fly higher into the sky. It will continue to fly high, high and high and high and high, till a time when the raven will lose balance, till a time where the raven cannot breathe again, and it will fall off. So we need to live above the limitations that we see today for us to be able to release our potentials. And by so doing, we will change a lot of things in the world. We will die not carrying our potentials to our grave. We will die leaving behind an innovation that will be developed into something better in future by by our children, maybe by our upcoming followers or whoever. It's like setting a precedence and others following. So I want to thank you today, as we have seen maybe 1, 2, or 3 problems that we face when we do not release our potentials. Some of that they are even injurious and fatal. That today, that whatever mankind is enjoying today, that I am streaming live from my house today, is because someone released his own potential to have developed the technology that will connect me through the StreamYard to your Facebook today. Somebody developed Facebook. Had it been this man that developed all these apps and all the packages that we're using today, maybe they just kept it in themselves, unreleased, and die. How would have mankind managed at a time, especially at the time of this COVID? Many of us do not know there was anything like Zoom. Somebody developed Zoom. And when it got to a time in the face of the earth, when a pandemic struck, you see that most of the meetings that were held worldwide came up on Zoom. People were not traveling again. People couldn't travel again. Even right now, a lot of people have adopted it as now a normal way of life. It's saving costs. So when we do not release our potentials, it brings about expensive life pattern and lifestyle. It brings up expensive life pattern. Maybe I have a meeting in US. I need to be in US. You imagine what it will be for me to get a ticket, get my visa, get my hotel accommodation. This is a meeting, maybe under 1 hour, we can just have it over the Zoom, and then it's ended. Everybody goes home happy. It is someone that released it. So it causes expensive life, a life pattern or lifestyle our life process, expensiveness, when we do not release the potential that is in us. Because our potential may bring about something that will save money for us. That is where I'm driving at. And I have just illustrated it with the Zoom that we are now using. We have demonstrated it with the StreamYard we are using this evening. These are skills that are in people, which if they have kept it, possibly all these things have been under research, under development for 10, 15 years. And today we are using them comfortably and they're working well. And someone also is in his room, is in his office, is in his workshop, developing something that is better than this. That brings us to challenges. That there is also need for us to challenge ourselves into developing even the one that we have. Like today, Bro Fred has written a book. Let there be a challenge also to develop something that is more than this book, or to convert this book, because the current trend now, like we see, many people are not reading books again. They don't make out time to read books. You can go in, you can develop this book into something that even while somebody, you can bring it into audio. That somebody can slot in his vehicle as you are driving. You are listening to the audio. I'm giving it as an instance, and you're listening to it as an audio. It will not now end up as a written book. It will now have an audio version that you can even watch. Maybe you can put up a lot of backgrounds in it, and then develop some video backends, and then with the write-up of your books, people can find it. There are people who love watching telly. There are people who love doing a lot of things. Maybe in that way, you know that people may love it. You develop this thing in such a manner that it will capture the mind of people. It will capture the focusedness of people on that. So, like our presenter did, I think yesterday, it's not enough buying this book and decorating your shelf with it. It's enough that we go through it and then have some of these ideas in us so that we continue to move higher to change our little world and society. So by this little, I think I may have exceeded my time. I was given 1 hour, and I think I'm on 1 hour 18 minutes 14 seconds now. So I may wish to stop at this point, and on a very great note, I want to thank our leader, Brother Fred, who gave me this opportunity to speak to you live on air. And I want to thank all of you also who spent that time to listen to me. Actually, this is my first time streaming live. And these are some of those potentials he has never slept to bring out in mankind, to bring out in us, to bring out in me. And I want to thank him for this great opportunity. So thank you, our great leader. I want to thank you. You're a leader. You are a leader in MAF Summer. You are my leader in my alumni group. You are my leader also as a lead person, a lead facilitator in this program. So I want to thank every one of you, wherever you are watching me from. I want to say, may God bless you, and may we activate from this moment, just like you reactivate your bank account, which has gone dormant. Go back and reactivate your God's given potential. It is really a time with you. Thank you so much.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much, sir. This is mind blowing, but so mind blowing. It's so impactful. Thank you very much, sir. I am enjoying both of it.
Thank you, brother.
Wow, thank you very much. God bless you. In fact, there's so much impact. So much impact is just beyond what was good. Very, very grateful, sir. Very grateful for this. But I don't know, for the things you've said, so powerful. Talking about like when you talked about the DHL, the errand boy, how he from taking doing an errand, and that business has grown to a global business that has been impacting the whole world. In fact, a lot of things you've said about need not to copy food to the original, even though we can get inspiration from people and all that. So it's really very, very, very good things you say. The importance of us not to allow potential to happen. Thank you very much for so great. Let me check, because this is time for questions. There's any question? Any question? Does anybody have any question? Let me check the comment section. Okay, there is no question from what I can see. Okay, thank you very, very much, sir. We are so grateful. We're going to see at the back end. Thank you very much. So
thank you so much, brother Fred.
Yeah, thank you very much. We are so grateful. You really touched our lives so much. The Lord bless you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes, this is.
Thank you, and I also want to thank especially your team for the work they have been doing. I want to thank your yes.
Yeah, thank you very, very much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We are so grateful. Thank you very much. So we're signing off now from the live.
Okay.
So thanks everybody who have joined. We appreciate all of you. Thank you very much. Tomorrow is going to be another great day. Tomorrow we have time with Dr. Ibeke. Tomorrow, Dr. Ibeke will be coming online tomorrow. So Dr. Ibeke speaking to us about his own. So thank you very, very much, sir. We are so grateful. God bless you so much, sir.
Thank you
very much. So we're going to be signing off now for tomorrow's section, starting exactly by. Thank you so much, sir. So have a wonderful day, sir.
Thank you.